Hello and welcome to this week's Lunch Crunch. I am Jake Slappick here at The Wizard, your resident marketing expert, here to answer your questions, connect with you, help you get your business moving forward through the magic of marketing. If this is your first time, welcome to the Lunch Crunch. Our format is very simple. I'm going to chat for a little bit about some stuff I think is really cool or important, and then I'm going to open up the floor to any kind of questions that you've got. Feel free to just drop them straight in the chat right away, and we'll get to them as we go. But this is our weekly Lunch Crunch. We meet every Friday at noon Central Time to answer all of your questions. We are currently live on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. So follow us on your favorite platform. The links are in the bottom corner. All right, so let's dive in today and not waste any time. I want to talk today about traditional marketing versus digital marketing. And what does that mean? What should I be doing as a business? Is there something more effective that I can be doing with my marketing instead of doing both kinds? So let's define what these are individually first. So what is traditional marketing? All right, so traditional marketing would be pretty much anything that doesn't involve your website explicitly. So what does that mean? Well, mailers, local advertisements, billboards, outreach campaigns, anything that is kind of not leveraging your website as the center point for the lead collection, right? So you might do a cold call campaign. You might do, any, like I said, anything that's kind of that traditional marketing outreach, finding local businesses to partner with. Print is obviously a big part of traditional marketing. Going through newspapers, getting articles in a newspaper or a magazine. And while those still can lead back to your website, the reason why we don't classify those as digital marketing is because it's not a requirement. The website isn't the critical piece or functionality of that marketing strategy, okay? However, what is digital marketing? It's the opposite. It's anything where your website is super crucial to its success. So what does that mean? Paid ads, search engine optimization, social media, anything happening on the internet is pretty much going to be a digital marketing strategy, right? Pretty basic, not too confusing, but and this is the question of the day, does digital marketing replace traditional marketing? Okay, up front, the answer is no. Okay, let's break that down a little bit more about why the answer is no, and sometimes it can also be that yes, you actually do replace traditional, but let's talk about that. So everything in your marketing strategy comes back to two things: your brand identity or core values, whatever you want to call it, and who is your target market. That's it. Everything comes back to those two things. And so if you evaluate that your target market is not online, then you don't really have a strong reason to replace traditional marketing. However, if your target market is exclusively online, then you want to have a digital marketing strategy first with some light traditional, right? So what does that mean? Let's take an example for that. All right. Let's say that you are a restaurant. Okay, you have a restaurant. It's great. Jerry P's Pizza and Pub, whatever. I don't know. And you want to connect with your target market. Who's your target market in this case? Well, it's going to be local people who enjoy pizza. Okay? That's pretty obvious. You're not going to ship a pizza halfway across the nation to somebody because they ordered one online. And you're also not going to sell to, people who only eat salad, although maybe you offer salad, and that's a whole different thing. But we're just using pizza as the example here. So in this scenario, you need to access local people who are interested in pizza. Well, where are those people? And this is kind of how we break down the path to building that target market, that target audience. Is where are they hanging out? What are they doing? Well, a lot of gamers like pizza. Okay. So maybe you think, maybe we'll do an ad on Twitch or on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok about getting pizza, and you target that to your local area. And that's a digital marketing strategy that's fantastic. I love that idea of running that ad in your local area for gamers. However, other people also like pizza. Maybe you realize that you have a large contingent of, hardworking construction workers that aren't really on their phones, aren't really on the internet. They're, at home, and maybe they watch a little TV, or they drive to and from their work site. So a billboard might be a really effective strategy to reach those people, or a TV ad or a radio ad, or maybe some flyers that get handed out at the local AAA baseball game, whatever that might be. A mailer, right? Those little mailer cards where you get the little coupons. Those might be great strategies because those are also accessing people in your target market because of locality, right? Or giving away hats with your logo on it. Then people wear the hats, they're around town, and they think about your pizza. So we cannot ignore traditional marketing. Okay, it would be foolish to forget about the roots of marketing, what has worked for 100 years and further back than that. Marketing is not a time-gated practice. It's not like we invented marketing 150 years ago. Marketing is the art of communicating opportunity and the ability to connect with that opportunity, right? So if you are, let's go back 400 years, okay? No, oldest profession in the world has to do marketing, right? Not to get dark, but prostitutes, right? They have to market their goods. That's marketing. They have to sell it, and if they're not a good-looking prostitute, they have to bring the charm, and so that's marketing. That's selling to your strengths and weaknesses as your product. So marketing is not a new concept. We cannot forget where our marketing comes from, why we do it in the past, and what used to work. However, as things get better, as the internet expands, as reach expands, we're able to access a larger group of people more efficiently, more effectively through targeting, through search engine optimization, and digital presence. Shout out to Panchornik. Welcome to the Lunch Crunch today. If you got any marketing questions, throw them in the chat. I'd love to answer them. We're just talking about digital versus traditional marketing, and why, while digital may be the only strategy you need depending on what you're selling, traditional cannot be forgotten. It is still effective. It does still work. There is a reason why we still have expos. Expos are fantastic. All right. They get you in front of the right group of people. In fact, I would say expos and trade shows and events like that are the traditional marketing's attempt at doing something like targeted ads, right? They get all the right people in one place. So don't ignore that traditional marketing. So yeah, hopefully that answers that question. Another common question I get asked, and this is very specific to my business, is when you're hiring a marketing company, there are kind of two different strategies that marketing companies will bring to the table. One of those strategies is the concept of strategy development. So marketing and strategy development, right? They're going to take the knowledge of marketing, sit down with your company, and come up with a brand new strategy that is specific to you, to your company, to your mission, to your target. Okay. Um, these are this marketing company or this marketing offering tends to be more expensive because it's very hands-on, it's very specific, it's very personalized, and it requires the strategist to have a very wide skill set experience, right? As very wide skills in the marketing world because they need to know what their options are for targeting certain audiences. The other option, and this is what I would say most marketing companies are, and this is what the Wizard tends to lean towards. Now we're a little bit in between. We straddle that line of unique versus what we're going to call branded strategy. So what is branded strategy? Branded strategy is a great option for people who are in non-unique businesses. So what's a non-unique business? All of your trade services. So HVAC, laundromats or launderers, restaurants, caterers, things that there's a lot of those options around. Plumbers, electricians, those kinds of things, right? They all offer the exact same offering, the exact same experience for you as a consumer. However, getting in front of their competition is difficult. So instead of hiring a very expensive brand strategist to come in and say, let's learn about your business, let's learn about your offerings, they can instead go after a branded strategy. What a branded strategy is somebody's already built out something that works for that type of business. So let's use electricians for an example. Let's say that you build a marketing campaign, a marketing strategy that you test it with an electrician. It works with electricians. It would work for any electrician anywhere. You just need to put their brand on top of it. Okay. What this does for the customer is it actually allows them to keep their costs down because they're not spending money on research and development. Okay. This gets confused a lot when people are trying to hire a marketing company because they want that first option. They want that custom strategy, but they're not willing to pay for it typically, or maybe they can't pay for it. Maybe it's too expensive, right? But when you have a branded strategy, you can take advantage of that knowledge, that experience that already works, and pay for the implementation, pay for that little extra step of just getting it done because it's already been proven that it works. And here at the Wizard, that's a little bit of what we really do. We know what works for 70 to 80% of what you need to do, but that extra 20% is understanding your brand, understanding your target market, and twisting the campaign to fit what you need it to do. So when you're evaluating a marketing company, you need to decide, what are we going after? Do we want that customized strategy? We know that that's going to be more expensive because it's not going to include the implementation. It's just going to be that strategy portion. Then you actually have to go and make everything happen, which can be expensive, costly, confusing, time draining, and overall just kind of a headache. Or you can bring in a company that already has a campaign strategy that works for your industry, brand it over the top, and push it out the door and let them do their thing. So one is not better than the other. They're both good for different reasons. And at a certain point, your business will probably grow to the point where maybe you do need that custom strategy. But if you have the ability to take advantage of a branded strategy, do so, because it's going to be very cost effective for you. So that's a question I get. Poncho asks, which do you prefer of both? I'm going to assume that this question is referring back to traditional versus digital marketing. So at the Wizard, we are digital marketers, right? We know digital marketing inside and out. We know the ins and outs of what works digitally. And we also are what's called a T-shaped marketing company. So if you've never heard of the term T-shaped marketing company or T-shaped company, definitely look it up. It's a very interesting concept where your business becomes T-shaped. I'm gonna do a terrible little. I can't even do. You do a T? T. There you go. A T-shaped company. All right. What this is, the T-shaped company, is that this is all of the knowledge in the field that the business exists in. Okay. So let's say I'm a marketing company. Okay. This axis is all the different things a marketing company can do. So we've got mail, we've got websites, we've got SEO, we've got pay-per-click, we've got printing, we've got billboards, we've got mailers. All of these things are there, and we need to know about all of them, right? That's the width. We know about all of them. We maybe know a little bit, right? We know like this much about all of the options out there, right? So an example for us is publicity, right? The Wizard Marketing is not great at the publicity portion of business development and marketing development. We outsource that to our teammates because we're not T-shaped like that. We know about it. We know enough to know when you need it. The other part of the T is the vertical axis. And what this is this is the portion that your business knows so well no one can beat you on it. So for the Wizard, that's web development, website development, and SEO. Those are our two elements of the T, where we know those two elements beginning to end, front to back, and people are going to have a hard time beating us on that understanding. Okay? By shaping yourself as a T-shaped company, regardless of what industry you're in and what you do, you give yourself a bat to swing. Okay? So let's wrap this way back. I know I diverted and talked about this T-shaped marketing strategy, but we are strong in digital. That being said, every single product, service, offering out there should be taken as its own thing. It should be understood as its own option and identity. And that means sometimes the best strategy is a local strategy. The best strategy is a digital strategy. The best strategy is billboards. It's hard to say that. And no product has only one strategy that works. I mean, there's certainly strategies that work better than others. But there's not just a one and done strategy. So being able to blend the strategies together is really critical. I'll give you a good example. One of my favorite marketing techniques that's available right now, and it's hard to do. It is not an easy concept, but it's called mixed marketing, okay, or blended marketing. And the idea behind mixed or blended marketing is that when you do a campaign, an outreach campaign, so let's give a specific example, okay? I'm trying to sell a pair of shoes, okay? I've got a pair of shoes, and I have a list of 5,000 people who've bought shoes from me in the past, okay? How do I get those people to buy my shoes? So I design a campaign, okay? Maybe that campaign is I send them a piece of mail, or I send them a newsletter in their email box, and that's it, okay? That was the campaign. Did it go well? Maybe I send them 3 newsletters and a coupon. Hey, that's fine. Whatever. That's a fine strategy. It's an email drip campaign, and it might work. But can you raise the bar by mixing different marketing strategies to accelerate the buying process? So what does that mean? So a mixed strategy might be we hit them with an email, then the next day they get hit with a piece of mail in their mailbox. Okay? And then the next day there's a social media post about it, and maybe we tag a couple old clients in it or something, and then the next day we do a billboard in the area where all of those buyers are, and then the next day we do another email, and then the next day maybe we pick 100 people to call. I don't know. So these are like the kinds of ideas where you start mixing all of these strategies together, and it keeps you top of mind. So in marketing, we talk about top of mind a lot, and that's because people buy what they're thinking about, right? That's why when you drive down the road and you see the Dairy Queen sign, you want ice cream because you're thinking about ice cream. Being on top of mind and being in front of people is important. So that's what we can do with traditional and digital is we can stay in front of people as much as possible. In Facebook advertising, if we put a Facebook pixel on our website, we can track who comes to the website and we can send them ads on Facebook. But we only want to send the ad to people who've come to our website, right? So now we're staying on top of them. They came to the site, then they see an ad on Facebook, okay? Then maybe they go on Google and do a search, and then we grab that and do an ad there. That's how you push people down the funnel. You've heard of the funnel, the marketing funnel. Well, that's how people go down the funnel. They see you, they see you, they see you. It's called touch points. And ultimately, touch points turns people into buyers, customers. So you need to touch the people, and not in a weird way, in a totally marketing way. So I would say that we can't really prefer a marketing type or strategy because it's not fair. It's not fair to I don't know why I did Christopher Walken. It's not fair. Well, but it's not fair to the marketing strategies because every single one has a different way of working. If you've ever been to Chicago, there is a product called Restore. They are hair plugs for men, give you your hair back. They have like 75 billboards in Chicago. That's their marketing strategy. They spend, say every billboard's $5,000 a month, and they got 75 billboards. That's a lot of money on billboards. And you would be like, well, do billboards work? Like, how can they work? Well, they're doing this kind of baptism style billboard marketing campaign where people just see it everywhere to the point where some of their billboards are actually jokes about how many billboards there are. Oh no, another Restore billboard. Like, and I'm talking to you about it because I remember this campaign. That's how effective it was. So we can't ignore traditional marketing if there's some value to it. It might take some modern strategy to figure out how to use it, but that would be my answer. I'm sorry that Poncho, that's not really a great, not a great answer because it doesn't pick, right? It's always better to pick. Yeah, that's my thought on it. Are there any other questions, comments, concerns, FAQ about marketing? I'd love to answer those questions. I'll go ahead and talk about one more question I got asked this week. That's how frequently do I need to post on social media? This is a tough question because not every business, their objectives line up with an answer here. So it depends on what you're trying to do with the social media. Okay. Are you trying to gain followers and gain people and build your notoriety? Or are you just simply trying to look like a business that cares, that is active, that's involved in your community, and is trying to be a part of the greater social community? Because both of those are completely valid strategies. They have different measurements or objectives that they're trying to do, but they're both, perfectly acceptable, but they change the answer based off of how much you should be posting. Okay. I would say if you have a business that is expected to be on social media, okay, expected. So if you own a restaurant, be on social media, please. Okay. If you own a local establishment that somebody can walk into, you need to have social media for your company. If you are a digital business that is selling services B2B, maybe you don't need social media. I wouldn't say ignore it. That would be a bad idea. Don't ignore the social media, because you can grow there. You can access more people. But if you sell a product, a visual product of any kind, I would highly recommend being on social media. So what do you do with the social media once you're there? Okay. If you just want to be on social media so you can say you're there, we call that the trust building social media strategy, which means you post 2, maybe 3 times a week. And that way, if someone comes to your social media, they're going to look at it and they're going to go, oh, look, they posted 3 days ago. They're an active company. They care. They're doing things on social media. They're trying to stay active. And yeah, that's great. I'm going to trust them. Okay? Because they care about their social media. The flip side to that is if you don't have social media, or you do and there's nothing posted, it's actually worse to have a social media account and have nothing on it than not have a social media account at all. But if you do, and they show up and they go, the last post was 12 months ago. What are they doing? Are they trying to be on social? What are they doing? Maybe I'll go with this other guy who posted 5 days ago. Seriously, there are decision makers like that in the buying space that are making decisions based off of how recently you posted. So that's the trust building strategy. 2 to 3 times a week, make it a decent post. Don't phone it in, like make it look good. You still need to look professional, like you care. That's really what you're telling them, is that I care, so I'm doing social media. The other option is the growth strategy. Now, this is going to be the hands-on, heavy social media investment strategy. You're going to have to spend time on social media, and not just time posting, investigating, learning, understanding social media, how it works, why it works, what hashtags do I need to do, when do I need to post? Do I need to post 3 times a day, 2 times a day, 5 times a day? If you're a big fan of Gary Vaynerchuk, a huge marketing guy, he says, if you want to grow, post 4 times a day on TikTok. 4 times! But don't sweat the quality. He actually just posted the other day a video of his very first video on the internet. And there was a police siren in the background. And he kept going for his very first video ever. He didn't sweat the quality. He just knew he had to get the content out there. So that's the other strategy, is the growth strategy. And it's an investment. It's an investment in time and energy and research, and ultimately personality, because you've got to have something that shows up nicely visually, on social media. So that's the answer of how many times you should be posting online on social media if you want to either just be a trusted company or grow. So, all right, we got time for a few more questions. If anybody's got them, please punch them in the chat. I'd love to answer them, help you with your business, help you grow, help you develop any needs you have in the marketing department of your business. So it looks like that's going to wrap it up for today. Hey, look, I know that we're still getting going in the Lunch Crunch. This is Lunch Crunch number 3. We are here every Friday, noon Central, here to answer your questions, your marketing questions, and provide as much value as we can to your company, to your marketing experience, and to you. Free you up so that you can do the things that you want to do, which that might be running your company, that might be spending time on your boat. I don't know. But my goal is to make sure that you get the opportunity to make those choices and really shine. So do not forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, or LinkedIn, where you get notified when we go live. And just thanks for spending time with us this week. We're looking forward to it next week. If you have any questions in between now and then, please reach out to us. I'm Jake at thewizard.marketing. You can send me an email anytime. I will respond to you. Love you all, you beautiful people, and have a great weekend. And we'll see you back Crunch next week. Have a good one.